Sir, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Good morning, and good morning, our listeners.
Yeah, we also have in the studio Madam Priscilla Onyema. Madam Priscilla Onyema is the officer in charge of drug demand reduction and training in the agency. Madam Priscilla Onyema, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Dr. Priska, Ima.
You're
but
welcome.
That's Anambra State Command, not agency.
Agency, yeah.
Anambra State Command of the agency.
Yeah,
thank you.
All right, you're welcome to the program. And today, like we said, we're going to be discussing supporting NDLEA in the fight against drug abuse and drug trafficking. They're going to be highlighting some of the activities they've embarked on to fight drug abuse and drug-related crimes in the state. And we'd like to begin with the state commander, NDLEA. So we'd like to get an overview of the current drug trafficking and abuse situation in Anambra State.
Yeah, thank you very much. Happy to have me here again this morning. Our topic is a very important topic we have identified. John, I would want to inform you, address you with activities last week.
Yeah.
We, in the course of the week, were able to have operations in Oka here and Baku area and Onisha. Of course, we covered up to Orifite, and then come down to Ukbo. We covered all these areas in terms of last week. So in terms of sensitization, in our course of our drug demand reductions, we were able to carry out sensitization in Assumption High School, Ogidi, and also Bedroot School, Onisha. We covered those things to sensitize the children, ensure that carry them along. And of course, I have the pleasure to pay courtesy visit to the ABS MD here within the course of the week. So these are the activities, in the course of the week. In NDLEA operations and work in Anambra, we are stepping up our operations, and I would say that there's a very good cooperation from the public, especially that the governors in wisdom formed a security outfit and are working together, also having an impact. So in the course of the week, as I said, all this our coverage, we also received transfer of suspects from the vigilante services, from the police, and all this. So you see that all hands on deck, and that's why, of course, most of the information were carried out were also supplied to us by our sister agencies in DSS. So we are working in synergy, and that is why all these results we're achieving. Thank you.
Okay, let's talk about the issue of drug demand reduction in tackling drug abuse cases. Madam Priscilla, can we get an insight into why it's important we talk about drug demand reduction when we are talking about drug abuse cases? Drug demand reduction, importance of drug demand reduction in cases of drug abuse.
Of course, if we are able to reduce the demand, if we're able to reduce the demand for drug, of course, that demand is for the consumption. That is the abuse. So if we're able to reduce the demand, it means that we have been able to almost cut short or cut down on the abuse of the drug. And NDLEA Anambra State Command is doing her best to make sure that everything within their powers to get the demand reduced, they are doing it. My boss mentioned about 2 schools that were covered within the course of the week. One was in Ogidi, one was in Onisha. And then paying a courtesy call to the new MD of ABS, seeking collaboration is all to find a way to make sure that the demand is reduced to the barest minimum. We are into a lot of things as an agency. We have our mandate to reduce to the barest minimum, if not to curb entirely. the trafficking and the abuse in hard drugs. So not just our duty, we're not concentrating only on arresting the dealers, because while we, as a group of us, concentrate on arresting the dealers and having them prosecuted and all that, another section, because if we concentrate on one, people may continue, which had been what had been happening in the past, that made the chairman to come up with this idea that we don't just have to concentrate on this, let's diversify. So while we arrest this, let's also talk to the people, those that are patronizing these dealers. If we can get them to drop their demand, of course the supply will also drop. It may take time, but if everybody can put hands together, it will be achieved. It's an achievable venture.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Ima?
Okay. The
studio has missed my boss.
Yeah, very, very well. Our listener really missed you. So you are welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we are talking about supporting NDLEA in this fight against drug abuse and drug trafficking. So one will be asking, in what areas can someone do that? How can people support NDLEA?
Yeah, thank you very much. As I said before, we cannot do it alone when it comes to security. Just like you cannot clamp to your own hand. You can't clamp to your hand.
I did you for a kwaka.
Your hand is long or big, cannot be clapped.
Yeah.
And when you put two of them, you will not hear a noise. And what all of us put, you call ovation. So we actually need we're going to get a very good result when all hands on deck, to come in time for fighting drugs. We need the drugs, we need the people, the masses, the Anambrians, we need the security agencies. As I said in my report, that most of the informations that the DSS, which is their duty, for furnishing me always with informations, which are making it so easy for me to carry out such operations. The police are saying they have transferred suspect in VGS, the Vigilante Services, that are arresting and transferring. So these are the way that the security agencies that are working in Anambra are helping and are continuing because it's our duty. Then when you come to the masses, what we need from them is information on who are dealing on these drugs. Our strategy has been to get down to the community, to the root. Because we believe, and it is true, that the communities know the communities more than any other person. So that's what the young boys are doing now, because once everybody comes up and say, no, this is a crime, we're trying to educate everybody and let's see drug as a crime and not a business. And when we understand that it's a crime, and community comes up now, you understand? They know who is a professor in their community, they know who is a doctor, they know who is a lawyer, they know who is a farmer, they know who is a thief, they also know who is a drug dealer, who sells drugs. More in community than some of us coming from that security agency is coming from other part of the country. So we encourage the communities and we need their help in releasing information to us on those that sells this drug. You understand? So that's what we need for them. Then for the other other people, we're talking of rehabilitation centers for those people that already gone into drugs. While we're trying to guide them young to say, don't go into it, there are some already who are there. We say, okay, it is not a death sentence. There's a provision, there's a room for us. There's a rehab center, so where we come and rehabilitate those guys who are already there. Now, these other people can also help us in coming to help us in this rehabilitation center in terms of upgrading it or sponsoring those people. There are some people, some of these users who don't have the capacity to sponsor themselves in times, the period of 3 months or 6 months, at case maybe, to get rehabilitated. Because for now, it is an individual program. It is not subsidized by any government, either state government or federal government. So people bring in their word. Now, some of our people who have the resources can also come to partner with us and say how those other people who the feeble, those who don't have money and they're into it, how can we help them in rehabilitating them? Because their feedings are there, their accommodations and their well-being for the month or 2 or 3 months are going to be. So this is how the individuals of Anambra can come and help us. They can come and help us to upgrade the rehab centers. They can help also in making sure that some other people who have less privilege can have access to these rehab centers activities. Then another way, of course, the government of the Charles Oludo has been helping us in terms of our logistics, and we are still as Oliver tools asking for more. So the government can also help us in coming up and go also in rehabilitation center, upgrading it, because our major problem is the space. We're only having more people. In fact, they are in queues. They're lying in queues. You have to waiting after this place has been rehabilitated before we admit. But if we have a space where we can accommodate 100 or 150 or 200 space, why not? Then these people can come, and while we're talking to them, counselors, they're also learning trade, learning skills, that after which they could, stand on their own. So there's a lot of ways where we all have to join hands together to fight it, But in the interim, everybody, whoever sees something, have to say something. Information is the key in the security fight of drug war.
Okay. Yeah, Madam PC, I think you also said something about this. Yeah, the boss have already said that you guys need help in the areas of rehabilitation center, building it and furnishing it with the necessary equipment and all that. And also you need information from the masses to be able to carry out your job as expected. So apart from all these things, what are other ways that people can assist or support the NDLEA?
Yes, people can support by keying into the program that my boss has already kicked off in Anambra State. That's the Community Drug Control Committees. If the PGs and the Igwes of the remaining communities can also key in to it by organizing their people, making it possible for us to come to get that committee inaugurated in their communities. That will mean taking the message to the grassroots in their own communities. I don't know if you understand. They let them help us to help their people. Then, apart from that, if we come for operations in your localities, let them help us, let them support us in arresting the person that is a problem in their communities. Another way they can assist us, we need vehicles to be going to these different places. We have some vehicles, but most of them, most of them are very old, and some of them are always in the mechanic. So if some well-meaning Anambrarians can assist by donating 1 or 2 vehicles, this sensitization will go to different schools. If we can have a vehicle, particularly for that particular one, it will even enhance the job that we are doing. If we can get a vehicle to support the operations we go to into the different communities, it will enhance what we are doing. So in any way that anybody can support us, my boss has mentioned the information aspect of the job. My boss has also mentioned the rehabilitation center. Somebody can even pay for people that cannot afford to pay for their rehabilitation center. You can also build it in your, volunteer to help us build a new one entirely. It just to collaborate with us, discuss with my management. We come up with an agreement on where it can be sited, and the person can help. And it will be written, donated by Goma, but donated by Afagin Ezinonoge. So in any way that you think you can assist as you're listening to this program, please assist. We can't do this job alone. It needs all of us to put our hands together to make sure that this war against drug abuse is won. Remember, if it doesn't affect you directly, it could affect you indirectly. You may be happy and lucky that you have trained all your children and you train them very well and none of them is into abuse of drug. Who knows? Ndị na-azụrụ nke ha ọfụma, ụmụ ha gbawara drug, ụmụ ha nwere ike bụrụ ndị ga-eme nke ga-ekidnap nke gị tomorrow. Ha nwere ike bụrụ ndị ga-abịa zuo ogo na-ezu ori around where you stay and make it impossible for you to have a good night rest. Ha nwere ike bụrụ ndị ga-cause mayhem na communities, make it impossible for you to be visiting your communities as you want. So please, onye ọbụla tinye aka na this war against drug abuse, it is possible for it to be won if all of us can come together and do our part. Thank you.
Dalu, mana odiko wenkune eches. This type of program I never know was there. Very soon, egun we men expire. Yeah, odiko we need this. Igwe pharmacist only there. But no, I mezili egara. All these outreaches in the schools, I think they need support in those areas. Yes,
thank you very much for reminding us that, as I said, we have, in collaborating with the public, like the sponsor of this program is Igwe Pharmacy, so you do. We have been doing it for some time. Last time it was GO that sponsored us for about 6 months. So for anybody too, if you are a listener, listening and you are interested and you are happy for what we are doing, then making sure that this message get to the grassroots. Why not? You can also key into that to pay for us 6 months, 1 year as you can, and you have the capacity. So it's part of it. It's also part of the sensitizations, and we are moving from schools to schools. You can also encourage the team that move from school to schools. Some also identifying to go with them. I think there's one local government chairman that indicating interest that he want to be going with them from school to school. So it depends. So you too, as you're listening to us, that area you want to come up, why not? Key into it. There are many areas you can go into sensitizations with our officers. You can come up, paying for the radio, sponsoring radio program if you don't have time to go physically, and the rest. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. I think this is your 3rd year in Anambra State, right?
No, it's my 2nd year.
2nd year, okay. So you've been in the state for 2 years. So how do you rate the support of the Anambra to this agency since you came to the state, comparing it with other states that you have served?
Well, I'll say that the support is commendable, because not every state you can bear me witness. Some other states are calling and said, "Oh, yeah, this is Badi Anambra."
Every day they still call today.
Yeah, they say, "Why don't you come to do the same in the same state?" Yeah. So it's not just to come to do in the states. They have other commanders there too. But the issue is these collaborations. It is as a result of the people's support that we're able to do what we are doing. Because this is what we are talking here is money is being paid for. So I would say that I'm reaching them high, and people are really keen to our job, and more especially when you are doing the job and you are being commended. Last December I was given an award, or my office was given an award by the PG of the state. I mean, it's something to say. Oh, we appreciate. It's one of the best awards we've had. We had several awards from our chairman executive, but that was the climax of it, because we felt, the people we are working for, they're actually appreciating what we are doing.
Definitely.
So they are being rated high, because they're supporting us both financially and socially and psychologically receiving.
Even in the information aspect.
Okay, yeah. I'm witness to that.
Yes.
Obudu came with WhatsApp, somebody in your information. Mana, what about that?
We are still on it.
All about
No, we are still on it.
Okay. So, Commander, last year, you people instituted this drug control committee in some communities in Anambra State. So I want to know how functional those committees have been since that institution?
Yes, it's functioning, and I said last time one of the major arrests we made was from that one of the communities that brought that information. Because they are from the community. When the guy just came in, they have to alert us. Positions of the exhibit and everything was probably there. So once we sweep into actions, we're able to pick him, we're able to see the. So they've been so far. They are working very well.
How are you monitoring the activities? The activities of the committee. How are you monitoring it?
No, they don't carry out an operation of their own.
Okay.
What they do majorly is to give us an information.
Okay.
You understand? Information. In fact, an intelligence. Okay. When they very process it and shout. Most of the time, when you hit direct. You don't need much work.
Okay.
So, okay.
All right, this is still NDLEA coming your way on ABS 88.5 FM. We've been speaking with the state commander, NDLEA, here in Anambra State, and of course, Madam Presidia as well. We've been talking about how we can support the NDLEA in the fight against drug abuse and drug trafficking, how communities, private individuals, agencies, companies can come in and support what NDLEA is doing in the state to prevent drug abuse and, of course, drug-related crimes. All right, I want to come to you, Madam Presidia. Now, we're talking about drug abuse. We'd like to know, here in Anambra State, what do you think are the primary factors that are driving drug abuse, especially among young people here in the States?
It's not one, it's not two. Peer pressure is one of the highest factors so far. Availability of the drug. Some of the children are growing up in an environment where these drugs are easily available. It's one of it. I'm sure you understand what I mean by peer pressure.
Yeah, of course.
Parental subculture. By that I mean the children learn more of what they see than what they hear. Some of our parents, some that are not into the abuse, are into selling. Because when you encounter some of these children, some of the things they tell you is what I am relaying back to you now. Some of them entered into it out of ignorance. They don't even know just because other people are doing it, you just want to do it. You don't know what is facing you. You don't even know what is lying ahead of you. Some of these young ones entered into it because of hardship, in quotes. They will tell you that they are frustrated, they don't have anything doing, they don't have any help, and then out of too much of the thinking, somebody introduced them to it. So this, and then neglect from some of our parents. Some of our parents are too busy looking for money that they pay less attention to their children at home. And then the children are learning from people they shouldn't learn from. So when you put all these things together, you know that it's not just one reason, it's a lot of reasons put together. I've mentioned peer pressure, I mentioned ignorance, I mentioned parental subculture, I mentioned parents not paying enough attention to their children, and more of that. Then some people give their children more money than they require, that they need. You see a father, maybe your child is going to school, and the father, because you have the money, you give your child pocket money for a semester. You're giving him above 500,000 pocket money. The child will have so much to his disposition that he wouldn't know what to do with the money than to lavish it on drugs and alcohol. So all these things put together, and others that I may not even remember immediately to mention, are some of the reasons that are pushing our young ones into the abuse of drugs. I'm sure my boss has one or two things to contribute to it.
Right,
Yeah, thank you very much. You said most of the points. That again, some of us who are pesetas, some of us who are leaders should live by examples. Because if, for instance, you're a doctor, a young doctor, so if you're using drugs, somebody will say, oh,
She's doing
this, if she's using drug, and she's a doctor, so what's wrong about it? You tell me, what's wrong about it? So if you see I'm a commander, and if I'm tired using drug, they'll say, oh, if you're a commander, why not? The government is. So some of us also on there that are using it. I know that it's something that a father it's one of the things that father eats that he doesn't want the child to eat.
Exactly.
And that's why they hide it. When you cannot hide it for long, they also look at that you are using it. They'll see it as normal. Most people, children see it as that's nothing abnormal. That's not abnormal there because their father or maybe somebody top in the society they know that he uses it. So if this guy is using it, then that means it's not a bad thing. So for us on the privileged, we should also be a role model and avoid use of drugs, not to deceive these younger ones. So that's one of the things some of them look into. And now that politics is all about, election is coming around. You see some people that are going to be used, people that be used, the boys that be used, who feel out these guys, those who can go and do undo. You see, these are the things where we politicians, we successful businessmen, we successful men and women should also help our youth not to emulate things like that. We have to show a good example to them. So that is it.
Okay, all right. We're still moving on the program NDLEA, and at this point, I think we need to welcome reactions from the listening public. If you have a contribution or questions that you need to ask the officers in the studio, well, this is your opportunity to call in and ask your questions. You could call 0904-956-0826
or 070-653-81320.
And just to remind you that the program is being streamed live on Facebook, so anywhere you are, distance is not a hindrance. You can join the conversation on Facebook as well at Anambra Broadcasting Service on Facebook.
We have a caller here. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Your name and
happy
location.
to be with ABS. Please, I want to find out if a smoker, not a dealer, in compound, you heard about a lot of people smoking, but they are not a dealer. Can NDLEA vet such compound for arrest?
Okay, the commander will answer that question. He's asking if you guys can also arrest
Thank you.
the user. Yes.
Yes, the users actually need to be corrected. They need to be cancelled. Most arrested users are cancelled for cancelling. We could also pick them because they don't know what they are doing, and having known that they are users, as you said, when we bring in them, what we do is that we put them under counseling, or because of a lack of sponsorship, that we call brief intervention by our expert. They give them brief interventions, and thereafter they are released to the people. So we don't arrest them. Of course, that's why you see sometimes if you go out of operation, we could pick 10 persons. And at the end of the day, it is only 2 or 1 person that we're looking out of them. We round them up. Some of those who are users, those users will also be brought to office. And as I said, they will be given quick interventions. And sometimes their parents will say, okay, yes, we have been telling you, now you have entered the hand of NDLEA, you now go for rehab. Some of them were responsible for rehabilitations, and from there, we can just go into it. They now pick up the bills and sponsor them. That is how we run it. They can be arrested.
Chetana ihe mmemme ndị NDLEA akpọrọ NDLEA and U program nke na-abịara gị n'ụlọ mgbasa ozi Anambra Broadcasting Service kwa Tuesday ọbụla bụ ya. cheta na ị nwere ike ịsụkwa Igbo ka ọ bịa adịzi ka ọsọsọ English ka anyị na-asụ maka ọ nwere ndị ya achọ ịkpa anyị bachee na adị asụ Igbo so ịkpa anyị ị nwere ike ịsụkwa Igbo na ọ bụla Igbo dị gị mma n'ọnụ ka anyị ga-anụkwa ife ị na-ekwu. Daalụ na isonyere anyị n'ụbọchị taa.
And frankly, NDLEA just said what you echoed your sentiment. He sent a WhatsApp message saying, "This is the East. You should break it down in Igbo."
This is
West, you speak in Yoruba. So let's try and break it down in a language people understand, according to Franklin from WhatsApp. That's the message.
So what do they show you why Swani Igbo na ina su
Igbo
Commander na anufu Igbo na asu
Igbo so Swahili Igbo.
Yes.
All right, so well, you've heard it. You can choose the language of your choice, English or Igbo. So it's just basically for you. Someone there?
No.
All right, Commander, I'd like to come back to you. What about in a situation involving minors, in these cases of drug abuse and drug trafficking? Any form of rehabilitation or their fate, basically? I'm talking about minors who are involved in this drug trafficking. How does the agency handle it?
Yeah, in most cases, majorly on the umaka like that, only dunya. When they do most of the time.
Okay, how about what like?
So what we do is investigations. From there, through our investigation, they will be able to debrief the person and get down to the root, their sponsors, or the person they are acting for. You understand? And go after the person. So normally, release those ones to their parents, or probably every village head or somebody that are around who can continue in educating the person. But first of all, we use the person to get to the person that, you see, 15-year-old person. I remember I arrested somebody who is a lady. She was in Form 4, so class SS2. SS1. Okay. So, and discovered that she's acting for somebody, somebody on SS1. So what will you do? So we are there to reform, for reformations. So what we did was to send her to a counseling unit, who now counsel her. Then we move in to get the person to get her sponsor.
Okay. Someone is here. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Tutu Manu.
Tutu Mande wona.
Sister Naima. Madam. Tutu Manu.
Ndewo na.
After Mogo and two numerous and Parastate.
Our regular caller. Ndewo na.
If I can make you Makano, rather than or do a fesha.
Email.
This Pagalaga, Anam Oge, Missing August, New Cover, 30 churches, Niger, what you hope. Well, no benefit of no prefer. So, as the moon to plan of the application center, I know what I'm to find you. I'm going to keep the government that support more sponsor. So now the thing that I can do mad. And after that, thing about belief for. So when I can do it, or Cataponi city now over 2 years in Anambra. The long city down open booming and effort, then I go Nante Governor. We look why Mother or Malta Governor. Yes, yet I'm all to support you, Bank. Always is what them Madana, because I want one good number call from OBC. I'm coming and down to you, and I can't speak the call. I'm coming over something else in the other thing. I didn't speak the call. So, over push you here, like a woman, I want support you. You might not know Melon. If I have to talk to half a day and then more. So, let us go. Over Guni Jello, dear Gunia, always support you. I can't go. We see me.
My brother. I want to state and our able governor, Imana, the governor will do the ones he's do federal government will also do their own role, play their own role. Governor look at his own job. Yes, I've communicated to governor on that issue of rehabilitation centers. I think he's looking into it. And for federal government, it is everywhere, the whole country. They are not sponsoring it in any of the states. So, but each state, takes up that challenge on their own. I've made my proposal to governor. I think he's considering it. And very soon, I believe you will hear from him. Thank you.
And that is why it is better that we don't start abuse of drug than struggling to come out. If we go no madu jiri 200 naira 300 naira ritoro onwe ego onezi oya akwo to get rehabilitated to come out of it. At least for now that the state government is still considering our proposal, it means that up for now all individuals can sponsor one through it, just like my commander said a while ago. Funding ebido bere ebido bikono, don't start. It's a lot easier for you not to get started than struggling to come out. Funding ebido ebido, please stop where you are, retrace your steps. It's a lot easier for you to stop where you are than allowing yourself to get addicted and struggling to come out of the addiction, considering everything that is involved. Thank you.
All right, you can still call. Oh, so you want to say something? No? No. Okay. All right. Someone is here. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
I am Emeka from
Onye?
Wait,
Emeka from Suma.
Emeka
Because and I'm praying to God to continue to raise your elbow. Then I ask, addiction is addiction. What do I do? I'm addicted to ABS. Go to Shia, I them out.
Addicted to?
Okay.
Addicted to what?
ABS.
Also, now they're addicted to hard drugs.
Your station, ABS.
No.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Can call you number NDLEA or make us a profile
Okay, well,
I think his addiction is a beautiful addiction. He's addicted to your station. Always listening to your station.
he said he's addicted to ABS.
Whoa. That is good.
Always listening to your programs.
You need to be. It's a good addiction.
Yeah, it's a good one.
This is not a bad addiction. This is actually
so long as Ode Bochigiru or na ro ije what he general ndoga aka no bochi.
Mba we radio na all.
So long as Ode nyegi nsogbu na ro is a beautiful addiction. Whatever you can listen to gain knowledge, it's a beautiful one. Every day you listen to different programs, you are getting more insights to different things that they talk about on this station. And when different topics are they bring up to for discussion here. So as you're listening, you're getting more information and getting more insights into a lot of things. So I think it's a beautiful addiction. Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
But he said he's addicted. Addiction is an addiction.
Like he said, addiction is addiction.
The ABS starts from 8 o'clock or 5:30 when?
Till 10 p.m. 5:30 a.m. till 10
So if a man listens to ABS every day from 5:30 to 10 p.m., I think that's a problem. Whether it's a good addiction or not.
Which is what Madam Priscilla is saying that to fast, it doesn't from carrying out
your daily activities. Maybe all run a robo or cabo or by a radio of course.
You're still allowed. Maybe somebody also radio.
You give a radio name and I'll go make you one now.
We have it.
I'll go.
Hello, good morning.
Hello,
good morning. Your name
is? Good morning, sir.
You're welcome.
ABS can not win. ABS can not win.
ABS.
Yes.
Because I don't know happy.
No.
I'm Mr. Williams from Norfolk. From Norfolk. Mr. Williams from Norfolk.
Okay, no, Williams.
Because program now to go and make the following other addicted to abuse. More almost come on and carry my conjugal. You even a matter of your band. And all my addicted, I'm a fool up. No? Even at Tomoto, you can't run a meva, you can't offer a topic a general of addiction to drugs, people don't about all over now, looking for now, all to choose the most important to one before every other thing. Because plenty of our men, our boys, when they are going, I would do English, I would do Malaria, one that can kill Belala, Belala, only I won't be everybody I need to drug were put on when you know. So, even in a mechanic, I know that Atumal do now, drug, Atumal when you got them, and I call problems. When they call to one in the union and down a drug or a doctor, because even I know. I'm not able to put on our boom, good seek all good to put a good boom, who boom, one kid application, who was to boom, because to put a boom, who walk a neva, who walk color. As not to be a good room, even in America alone. I tell you, I don't do that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
No.
All right, you can still call 0904 956 0826.
Or 070 653 81320.
Or join the conversation on Facebook as well, and let us know your thoughts with regards to supporting NDLEA, Anambra State, in the fight against drug abuse. Hello.
Dr. Pisa.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you too?
I'm fine. Okay, Ben,
Yuma?
Onye?
okay, Ben.
Okay. Ekene go easy. Ya ni ke we go ayin.
Yeah, mo abo honorable colleagues.
Honorable.
Okay.
You're welcome, sir.
No.
Drugaddiction. Not make people Makanam Obona Dragodi can NDLEA be called how to use the radio houses meaning and to us your program.
Wow, darling.
Please card when you go for the Twitter small. Ugebe na agent nke okpotoro anyị n'ụtụtụ anyị na-echekwesị onwe ha echekwe ọ na-azụ anyị so too much and nke ọzọ bụ na ọ na-adị phonetic anyị na-eji siri na na-amatasị ihe niile na-eme na be anyị ya ihe niile ghere eghe so anyị na-agba elu mgbe si n'ojisi ike na Anambra steeti isikakwa Anambra steeti adịghị izi na anyị nwe Nigeria. So the same
Thank you.
Ndị na-akpa na drọgụ ọ na-abụ akpa nwata ebutere ego ọ na-akwachi ọ bụrụ na ọ tụfuru ego ọ ji akwachi ihe onye ji isi ekuru buru ihe na-ekwu bụ ka ndị mmadụ mara nkere mma nke bịara mma onye esi ihe ka o kpuru isi kwuo daalụ.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're coming. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yeah, good morning. Your name and your location.
Good morning, everybody in the studio.
Good morning.
Maybe because of security issue, I should go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
The security reason I said. Doc, good morning. Please,
Good morning. Good morning.
yes, please, I could get a maybe you want to know my language. You know, my kakoa. I know who natural name, you know, who's in this now. And this this dealers or this Indian legacy because often they are follow the family go here pharmacy. Now, can what the good Indian is the good no belly. And what the Then for education and retailers, education for the men able to get. Now, instantly, who the medical program or no program. Please, because we came on affairs one day, first chapter from across the first zone, nearly be as a down on the free fact. 80% of each another make an undermotor load, which she and I get a monagine. The other observe what Pagabazina Tuesday, the blue man of a G3 or 4 kind of working a Hachi, not to say that nearly be as after the go nothing on a teacher about it. The second guy that I'm on a call, or 1 or 2 people should come out and observe. That's why we go now, I don't more on a mobilization. She did not a bomb my talk. But the good ever found the year. I think that, Dallon.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
Thank you. So he's talking about the sellers.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you very much, our contributor. We're happy of what you said. The users are always there. We are picking them and we are arresting the sellers. Actually, our target is the dealers, that is the sellers. And if you see the mode of their sales, some of them we call them pocket dealers. You see, as those that sells in the market, in the parks. They know their customers, and they could be like passengers that you know where and how they are carrying it. They can always have access to it. But we have picked most of them and made a follow-up and get some. But I want to tell you that today, that most often we get to some certain area and stopped. Why? Do you know that these boys, most of these drug boys that says they're on oath, and there's a place you reach, the person will prefer to go to prison than to reveal the person that sells it. That's what we are countering. Majority of them, they are on oath. So we are doing that and trying to counter them, and that's why the people who are picked, and we'll continue to pick them.
Yes, and the information you gave us about the people outside the ABS, we have taken note of that. We'll work on that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the information. Hello?
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Please, Kadalo.
Dalo, Kene.
Ora kwa kushindo rumbanata. Mudalo mweku mtoto amaka.
Hello.
Mama jujuna nagara. Nje hapo na reception ni obodo. Onkutu shiduna ni meeting kene tena.
Where case many?
A meeting.
Wapenda na reception na makonda ni dunia haka haje mebini.
And the meeting no ake so obu for again and NDLEA information ka bia ngolowa. I think campo number NDLEA. Based on this question, Madam Jonah. So we only more information from the NDLEA. We can reach here to them. So I want to check again on the NDLEA who offer na 081 215 16366 081 215 16366. My offer na 091 368 326 79 091 368 326 79. Number of number the NDLEA Anambra State Command. Yeah.
Someone else there?
No.
Okay, so now what we'd like to know is, apart from the support you're soliciting for, are there also challenges limiting the NDLEA? Are there other challenges apart from the support and all that, limiting the NDLEA in tackling the issue of drug-related crimes in the state? What can be done to, surmount these challenges?
Well, the challenges is what you have mentioned. We have, because of some of the interior areas and the vehicles, as my colleague said,
Okay.
they need mobilities to get across to those areas for covering up all these areas. And even in operations itself, sound vehicles, we need it. And of course, we made mention of our rehabilitation center, which is primary, to see that is maybe for expansions, looking for expansion of it. So these are challenges, because where you're having people bringing their words for rehabilitation, maybe having 100, 150 requests, and you're having 30 bed space. So it's a big challenge. We cannot take them. So we now do one after the other, turn by turn. But if you have a space where you can have about 200, 150, 200 at a time, I mean, we accommodate enough people. So if you take the capacity of 30 bed space or maybe 35 maximum, so it's a challenge. It's a challenge. This vehicular something is a challenge. Vehicles to get to some places, and maybe if they call you now, look, that some operation is here, then you move in and mobilize and move. So it's a challenge. And people seeing drug dealing as a business, so you see it as a business. My son's business, my brother's business, so they don't see it as a crime, and that is a challenge. So if they don't see it as a crime, and see it as a business, then see you being a hindrance, trying to stop them. They see you as an enemy. So it's a challenge. So that's why we're trying to sensitize people. People should see it as a crime, not as a business.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Your advice for the listener.
My advice is that let's all come together. Drug abuse is really disturbing. Is a problem. Drug abuse now is a problem to the societies, and we have to do it together. So we're calling on Anambrians, all hands to be on deck. Wherever you information on drug activities, inform NDLEA. And for those well-meaning Anambrians, you can also come in the 8th assistance. Give us assistance in your own capacities. You can help us to sponsor this program to continue running. You can also help us in terms of enlightenment programs, and of course, in expansion of our rehab centers. Thank you very much.
Madam PC.
Thank you very much, our dear listeners, for your active participation again today. I know to serve you better in any way you can. Thank you, and see you again by this time next week. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, eba kaina piachi mmemme nke ụbọchị taa nke akpọrọ NDLEA and you nke na-abịara gị n'ụlọ mgbasa ozi Anambra Broadcasting Service every Tuesday site na enyemaka igwe Ogidi Kingdom, the traditional law of Ogidi Kingdom, Igwe Pharmacist Alexander Onido, through his company Alben Pharmaceuticals Limited. Daluni sonila n'ụbọchị taa cheta na afọ mbụ Emmanuel Okonkwo nwa na-asị gị ka anyị jikọọ aka ọnụ bụ agha megide ịṅụ ọgwụ ike n'obodo anyị maka ọdịmma anyị. Daalụ.
And I am Priska Wankwo. Just to remind you that the news comes up at 12 noon.